Hello. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Dragoon, Atomic, Kaito, KH Sorcerer, Hero. What's going on? How are you doing? How are you feeling? I apologize for the late start. Hey, Flip. If you saw on Twitter, I said, I don't know. I don't mean to worry anybody, and I'm sorry we started late. It's just been, I don't know, something like my head's foggy today. Does that make any sense? Like, I don't. It just feels kind of awkward. Like nothing happened in particular. I just sort of am like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm so unclear, and so I was gonna cancel. I was gonna cancel stream, and here my problem with canceling stream when I feel like this is I always feel better when I stream. I have streamed multiple times feeling like this. Like, I don't know, maybe I should cancel. I literally sit there with a message typed out on Twitter that I'm going to cancel, and I delete the message, and then I change the message to say, hey, we're going to go live in a little bit. And then by the end of the stream, I feel really good. Like, I feel good. I feel energized. I'm glad I hung out. It reminds me of, I've always said that coming here and streaming and then talking to you all in chat feels like the old days for me, which is unfortunately probably a lot of people can understand this. It's like the old days when you would get together with your friends and you'd sit around and you play video games. And you sit around, you play video games, and you talk, maybe you have some drinks or something, and you have some food, and then by the end, like, even if you're having a bad day, by the end of it, you feel really good. And that's what it's like when I stream. So when I feel, like, kind of crummy, I want to cancel, but I don't want to cancel because this is what makes me feel good. If I cancel stream because I'm feeling like crap, I end up just sitting around thinking, man, I probably should have streamed because I'm just sitting here feeling like crap. Like, it's not like I have something to do. It's not like I had a bad day and I need to work through some stuff, or I'm just really busy. I just really don't know. Like, sometimes you just feel like crap. And sometimes I want to allow myself to feel like crap. And sometimes I do. There have been days where I'm like, I kind of feel like crap. Maybe streaming would make me happier, but maybe I should sit and just feel like crap, work through whatever it is, maybe I can figure out what it is. And sometimes I don't want to. And today I didn't want to do that, so I decided to stream. Not to mention, I had some stuff that I wanted to talk about in particular. As much as we can talk about it, we're not going to do any spoilers or anything, but I did want to just convey my good feelings over the stuff that I saw yesterday. Let's leave it at that. Super Weird Plush, Marcos, Kaito, Jet Black, Lilac, what's happening? Here, let me go back up here. By the way, Uncle, how about that there Spider-Man? That Spider-Man movie. Again, we're not going to do any spoilers. Spider-Man was an unbelievable movie. That movie had almost the perfect amount of everything. There was almost the perfect amount of every single thing you would want in a movie. You got heartfelt moments, you got romantic moments, you got sad moments, happy moments, action moments, exciting, thrilling moments, surprise, oh my god moments. That movie, it is. I always said that that Avengers, the first Avengers movie, was, in my opinion, one of the closest examples I've ever seen, in my opinion, of a perfect movie. Of a movie that I cannot find any fault in. I am having trouble finding any kind of fault in this movie. Hold on. Anyone going to see Matrix tomorrow? It's the 22nd. It's the 22nd for me. I am going to see Matrix, but I most likely will go Wednesday. We'll see what happens with my schedule, but most likely I'm going to try and go Wednesday because I absolutely love Matrix. And I'm excited for this one. I'm excited for this Matrix movie. We're going to keep talking about I'm going to talk about Spider-Man a little bit more, but I want to get through some of these messages. Did you guys play King of Fighters and DNF Duel? Yes, we played both of them on stream. Kira, you said, man, the DNF Duel beta wasn't great. I don't know what it was that you had a problem with other than maybe like the high ping or something, but that game I thought was incredible. I like DNF Duel more than I like King of Fighters. More than I like King of Fighters 15. I thought that the demo was incredible. I thought that it played well enough. People were talking for both games. They were talking about like missed frames and stuff, and I'm like, I don't feel it. I didn't feel like I was having a hard time playing that game. I thought it was amazing. I'm looking forward to playing. I was actually going to play that today, but the demo is already turned off. The beta is already off. Oh, that's so true. Playing games with your friends is always refreshing. It's healthy sometimes. It's healthy sometimes to feel that way. Lets you clear your mind out a bit so the negative and crap doesn't build up. Absolutely. I need to discuss this movie. We need to talk about Spidey. Hold on. The hype for this movie was correct. Yes, it was. Meta moments. Do you see my gripe to spoiler chat? No, I'm going to be honest with you, Lilac. I usually avoid spoiler chat because I don't know what people are spoiling, so I don't want to get spoiled for much of anything. I'll check it out, though. Do you see my gripe to spoiler chat? It's the only thing that really played on my mind, but for the most part, it wasn't negative. Just the I'll take a look at it. Oh, that's what gets me. I can't remember the last movie I watched that was that balanced. It wasn't overhyped, and even when you set your expectations, there's at least one thing that'll leave you surprised. And none of the moments feel like they are at the expense of the other moments. Yeah, great pacing. Unbelievable pacing. There were like 5 or 6 cheers for my screening of Spider-Man. Only a couple of active cheers. Most people were relatively quiet throughout the movie. There were only a couple of active cheers. I shed a tear. I shed a tear for one moment, and for those of you who have seen it, no, it is not that moment. It is, if there's a moment you're probably thinking of, it is not that moment. There was another time when I shed a tear in that movie. Doing an early screening, so I'm seeing The Matrix. Oh, you're seeing The Matrix tomorrow. Oh. I cackled a few different times during the movie and cried as well. It was damn great. I like the gameplay, and the rollback was great. But me and the others kept getting this. Oh, yeah, Kira. Yeah, we had a few disconnects. Yes. Kira, I thought you were saying you didn't like the game. Yes, in that regard, the beta, and that's not the game. That is the structure of the beta itself. That had some problems that need to be worked out. But that's not the kind of thing that's going to be present later. Now, if we get a second beta and we're still having those problems, I'm going to say, all right, this is something that needs to be adjusted and it needs to be addressed, because if we're now the second beta in and we're having these problems. But yeah, I thought you were talking about the game itself. It's just Spider-Man in there. Oh, it's just Spider-Man in there right now. Okay. Even when I end up enjoying the movie, I don't enjoy the experience of watching a movie. You don't like the act of going to the theater, having to deal with other people. Kaito, I like when it's a good crowd. I like when we cheer at the fun stuff, at the cool stuff. I like when we laugh at the funny moments. I think what bothers me about that experience is that sometimes people react differently to different scenes. There was one scene where everybody laughed and I felt bad about what was happening. And it was very odd. So for Harry Potter, for the last Harry Potter movie, does everybody remember the scene when Voldemort calls over Draco and he hugs him? And it's like the world's most awkward hug. Apparently, I've heard this before. Maybe you guys can tell me. And I think we've probably talked about this before. I've heard that in certain areas, especially like the UK, people didn't laugh. That it was unsettling. That Voldemort would hug him and embrace him, and that it was really unsettling. Over here, everybody laughs because it is like the world's most awkward hug. And so you get kind of a chuckle out of it. There was a scene that was not similar to that in like awkward hug or anything, but there was a scene that when they said it, it felt like it was probably supposed to be played off as comedy. And I was sitting there while everybody was kind of half laughing. I was sitting there thinking, damn, that's actually kind of messed up. That's actually really messed up. Other than that, the crowd response was great. I thought that they were fantastic. Hold on. I never applauded or yelled for any movie in such a long time. Not even the sequel, Star Wars. I didn't cheer for the Star Wars sequels. I cheered when we saw, spoiler alert, when we saw Captain America wielding Mjolnir. I cheered. You had to. You had to cheer for that moment. I mean, that was just a dramatic moment. It was so awesome. And I had to cheer for that. Yeah. Besides the connection issue, I love DNF Duel and I want to play more. I'm glad I picked that game over King of Fighters 15. I think it's mostly having to watch someone actively for at least a couple hours with no good breakpoints. Even though I didn't like MCU Spider-Man, I love No Way Home. My theater erupted during the final act trailer shot. I know which moment. Ooh, I can think of a few teary moments. I'm thinking of the one I cried for. I wonder if it's that one. Not only an amazing movie, but also that was the kind of this is a big screen movie experience. It's the reason I love going to the cinema. There was a few moments that people clapped, cheered, and made noise, but there were a couple that went crazy, and it was amazing. Usually I hate that stuff, but it's just a nice atmosphere. The game itself is DNF Duel. Game itself is great, but certain characters do need nerfs. Like Grappler with his infinite range, with the infinite ranger with his Grappler with his infinite, or Ranger with his everything. Kira, I played Striker. I used Striker. And the stuff that I was able to do with that character, not knowing anything about that gameplay style, was kind of impressive. A good player that knows how to handle that system and knows how to handle that character, honestly, Striker, I think, could be an unbeatable character. I 100% believe, because I was watching some other streams and I was watching some videos of gameplay with different characters. From what I saw, Striker could be an unbeatable character in the right hands of the right player. It was there, and I kept telling myself, get in all of your crazy infinites and stuff now, because these characters are going to be nerfed hard. You have to nerf those characters. Spider-Man was like Pacific Rim, a movie that is much more epic on the big screen. You know what movie I found that way that people always like bashing? Avatar. James Cameron's Avatar, The Blue People. I love that movie in the theater. I watched it at home a couple of times, and I thought that it was good. And obviously part of it is just that I didn't, I'd already seen it. But I saw that movie in the theaters and then went back the next day and saw it again. I liked the theater experience of that movie. It was big, it was grand in its scope, and it suited the big screen well. This movie did that too. No Way Home, for the final act, I think did very well on the big screen. I remember that scene was definitely a bit unsettling to me. My theater experience was kind of fun, but there were a couple behind me that had their kid kicking. See, that's when I turn around. See, Marcos, I am somebody that has done that multiple times in theaters. That's when I turn around and say, can you please stop him from kicking the seat? I have turned around and told people to be quiet. I have turned around and told people to shut up. I was watching a movie. I forget what movie it was. It might have been the second Matrix movie where these guys next to me were talking and laughing and carrying on through the previews, through the opening trailers. And I turned to them at one point and I said, "Look, this is fine because it's the trailer, but we're not going to have this problem during the movie, right?" And the guy's like, "Oh, we're cool." And then they stayed quiet for the rest of the movie. And I think I was a little bit intimidating, and it probably helped that I was there with like 4 or 5 other people. But so I didn't mean to threaten him, but I am very much the person that's like, look, I paid money to be here. If you're going to act like you didn't pay money to be here, please leave. We had so many people in our theater, they tried to sit on the floor and had to be asked to find a seat or leave. I've been in movie theaters that have done that before. I know we were talking about, as a longtime Spider-Man fan, there was a scene that gave me goosebumps, and it wasn't just for what was going on the screen, but the message this movie was telling. That was a scene years in the making. So we might be thinking about the same scene. My theater, when a certain lawyer showed up, I mean, we all kind of knew that was coming, but that was awesome. I thought he would have a bigger. Okay, I can't really say, man. Oh, I want to talk so much about stuff. I was gushing over the references, the music, the areas, and the characters in DNF Duel. Because I reckon. Oh, so you're Atomic. So you're a hardcore DFO player. You're a hardcore DFO player. I haven't seen any of the MCU Spider-Man films. Spicy. I watched Homecoming, and I have not watched Far From Home. That's the second one, right? I have not watched Far From Home. I think I kind of want to see it now, but I know that missing it is not super relevant. Whatever the important stuff that you missed in the second movie, they go over very quickly in the third movie. So it doesn't matter that you, from what I can tell anyway, I didn't feel like it mattered that I missed the second movie. I was a fan of Inquisitor and Berserker. I probably should have tried other characters. I love what No Way Home did with a certain villain. By the way, I was gushing over the references to yeah, but Spicy, and Spicy, understand, I am not a huge Spider-Man fan, and I think that this movie was unbelievable. This movie was incredible. I wish I could stand up to people like that. You know what, Hero? I'm poor, and I have to get all my money's worth. Spider-Man No Way Home, spoiler, silver lining. I did consider doing that. I actually considered turning today into a spoiler episode where we just talk about it. I've been playing DFO for 6 years. This is the fighting game I've been waiting for. I got a bit burned out after Endgame. Spicy. Ryan, how was Superlative Spider-Man? It was incredible, Ryan. It really was. It was genuinely, and it was a spectacular Spider-Man movie. And it was a fantastic MCU movie. You know what I mean? Oh, I assume we can at least talk about the worst kept secret in all of filmmaking. Yeah. Can we talk about one? I think we can all talk about this because Ryan's right. This was a very poorly kept secret. So this is going to be the only thing that I'm going to say that is spoilery. But if you did not know this already, you have just not been paying attention. Which I'll tell you what, I'm going to count down from 10. I will give you a chance to mute. Or if you really have to leave, then I apologize. Come back in a few minutes, and we hopefully won't be talking about this. But this was a horribly kept secret. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One of the two big cheers that the theater got were when the other two Spider-Men showed up, when Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire showed up. Here I will give you one spoiler. I will give you one sort of spoiler. No other Spider-Man showed up. That was what broke my heart. That was what broke my heart because I knew they were going to be in the movie. Everybody knew they were going to be in the movie. I was a bit bummed out that there weren't more. I was hoping that the way that they did it in the movie, they could have kept doing it. I won't explain what happened, but the way that they did it, they could have kept doing it. And I thought that they would keep doing it and that they would come out and find more Spider-Men. But it did not happen. It was just those two. I yelled my hero. Sadly, no emissary from hell. Supayadar, man. Yes, I know. There was no Miles Morales. There were. You know who I was actually thinking of? Because you guys are saying Spider-Verse. That's sort of what I was thinking of. I was wondering, what if Nicolas Cage shows up as Noir Spider-Man, or what is it? Noir Spider-Man or Spider-Man Noir? Like, I thought Nicolas Cage, like legit Nicolas Cage, could have shown up and that they were going to play that gag off. There was a reference thrown out later. Yeah. There was a bunch of stuff. But yeah, that was the only thing that I'm going to say as a spoiler was that they were in the movie. And it was just those two. Spider Noir. Okay. I can't wait for in Spider-Verse 2. There was a reference, which is exactly what I expected. I'm so happy today. My whole money situation got sorted, and I'm splurging on games. Awesome, Jet Black. Awesome. I'm just happy to see Toby there. My Spider-Man. I was happy to see Toby. I was unusually excited about, this is going to sound so weird. I was unusually excited about what he was wearing. I know this is going to sound crazy. Something about the way he was dressed made me really happy because I am under the assumption that based on the way he was dressed, the Toby we saw is yes, thank you. He was dressed like Peter from Spider-Verse, from Peter B. And I was like, okay, does this confirm that that's who that's supposed to be? Is the second Peter Parker from Spider-Verse supposed to be the Toby Spider-Man? Or is it just like similarities? It was so weird that when I saw him dressed that way, that was my first thought, was like, oh, so he is actually, and I think he was too. See, I can't talk about it, right? I can't talk about it because actually, no, it's not. It's not. And again, I can't really talk about it, but it's not. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason that I know that it's not him. There's a popular fan theory about it. It referenced the train scene from Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Verse with him. So I always assumed it was Toby Spider-Man. All right, so maybe it was. Maybe I need to watch Into the Spider-Verse again to see what the references were. And I'm probably going to go and see this movie again. But this movie, if you are on the fence about this movie, I can assure you that the hype that you're hearing about this movie, they never confirmed it, but there are a lot of similarities. Okay. The hype for this movie is legit. It is real. Go to the theater with confidence that the money you are spending on this movie is not going to be a waste. It is not going to be a waste. You are going to have a good time. I can almost guarantee you're going to have a good time. You are going to love some of the references. I almost blurted out laughter at one line, and I feel like nobody else thought it was funny. This was another one of those moments where I thought something was funny. And like there was a moment where everybody laughed and then I did not think it was funny. I thought that it was very serious. There was another moment where I was like, I literally, and I had people around me, right? I went by myself, so I had strangers around me, and I went, but I tried to clap as quietly as possible because I thought it was hysterical. It was hysterical. Can I say? It's a super simple gag. It's a super simple gag. Can I say it? No Way Home, my top 3 Spider-Man films, next to Spider-Verse and Spider-Man 2. Willem Dafoe said the line. And I wanted to laugh my ass off that he said it, and nobody else was laughing. Nobody else was laughing, and I thought that it was hysterical. John, Nora, and I laughed. I thought it was hysterical. I could not understand why. Yes, he said the line, and my theater did not laugh. My theater did not laugh, and I didn't understand it. I was hysterically laughing at it, but I had to keep quiet. Nobody laughed. He said the meme. And what's funny is it's not even a meme because it's actually a line that he says in the movie. Like, the whole thing about the scientist, right? You know, I'm something of a scientist myself. He actually says that in the first movie. So it's not even that it's a meme that was made up externally. It's a line he said in the movie. So, but they made it a point to repeat the line word for word. And it cracked me up. And nobody laughed at it. And I'm like, oh my. You know what I realized? It had to have been that it was like younger people around me and in my theater that didn't get it as a meme. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I've been that awkward guy who was the only one laughing in the cinema. And Spicy, I wanted to address something you said earlier, Spicy. And I'm addressing you directly, and I'm addressing anybody else who has this. I actually posted this on Twitter about Marvel burnout, about MCU burnout. I have had MCU burnout since Endgame. I watched WandaVision because I thought that it was going to be interesting, and it was. I didn't watch Loki until well after it was out, and people kept telling me that you have to watch Loki. It's really, really good. I watched What If because I thought, oh, okay, this is gonna be fun little one-offs, and apparently What If is kind of canon as well. Hawkeye. If you have been suffering from MCU burnout up until now, that is totally fine. It's totally acceptable. A lot of people are still suffering from it. When you are ready to come back, WandaVision was good, but I don't know that it was mandatory just yet. Loki and Hawkeye, specifically, those two shows, I would say What If as well. When you're ready to come back to the MCU, start with those two shows, Loki and Hawkeye. The last episode of Hawkeye is going to be later this week. These two shows have helped push me back into the desire for Marvel. I watched Black Widow. I watched Shang-Chi. They were good movies, good one-off movies. They were not, like, I watched those movies and wasn't like, oh, I'm back in the MCU. Those two shows, and I can solidly tell you now with Spider-Man, I am back on the MCU train. I am now legitimately 100% invested in what comes next. And I think the next movie is Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. That's an opening weekend movie. I am totally invested now in what is happening next in the MCU because of those two shows in particular and this movie. All aboard. Hold on. By the way, did you see to the end of the credit? Yeah, I saw both credit scenes. There's two credit scenes, everybody. Just so you know, I'm not going to say what they are, but there are two credit scenes in this movie, so stick around for both of them. I was a little disappointed with the first credit scene. I was a little disappointed with the first credit scene. I think it was the first one. I was hoping they were going to do more with that, and then they didn't. Well, they are, but they didn't. If you saw, if you know what I'm talking about, that makes sense. They are, but they didn't. But they didn't do anything with it in that movie. And then the second one, I think, was the later one. Hold on. All right, let me not ruin that for you. Did you see all the fake Marvel fans leave there? Yeah, I love it. There's nothing like going to the second one was the trailer one. Okay, so the second one was the trailer one. Yeah, so I'm thinking about the first one, that I thought they were going to do more with that, and they didn't, but they kind of did. Hold on. You have to pick and choose your Marvel spots now instead of watching all of it. Yeah. Yes. I would still say, Ryan, that if you watch everything that's happening right now anyway, everything that is currently available in the MCU right now, I think that you're still going to enjoy it. Black Widow, and Shang-Chi are my examples of, you're going to have a good time watching those, but they're not mandatory viewing. You do not have to watch them. I would highly recommend with the multiverse stuff going on right now, I would highly recommend watching Loki. With some of the character work that's going on right now, I would highly recommend watching Hawkeye. Specifically because they brought in a fantastic character with Hawkeye. I can't say anything, man. I can't say anything. I had an idea. So there was speculation that they were going to delay the last 1 or 2 episodes of Hawkeye. Supposedly because if you did not see Spider-Verse, something could potentially get spoiled by Hawkeye. We haven't seen the last episode of Hawkeye yet, so I don't know if this is true. And as far as I know, the last episode is airing this Wednesday. So it doesn't look like they actually delayed it. But there was speculation about them delaying the last bit of Hawkeye because potentially there was a spoiler in there and they wanted to give people a chance to see Spider-Man. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's true. We're going to see Wednesday. But I had an idea that if that's true, I was thinking, like, if that's true, what could it be in Hawkeye that this movie, like, after I saw the movie, I was like, what did this movie what in this movie could have been spoiled on Hawkeye, considering what Hawkeye is going through right now, what is going on Hawkeye right now. There was the one character introduced in Hawkeye episode 5 does coincide with the reveal in No Way Home. That could be it. That could be it. There was another idea that I had, and when I had the idea, I was like, oh, if that's the case, then yes, I could see why they would delay it. But I can't really get into it. I cannot get into it. People left at the credits during my showing too. They always leave, man. Like I said, most post credits will be on YouTube within the hour of the first showing. Yeah, but you know what I mean? I paid for it. I still want to watch it, right? I still want to watch it on it's, you know what it's like? Like it's like saying all the trailers from the Game Awards and E3 are going to be online once they air, but you want to watch them live anyway. You want to be there and you want to, you want to engage with people as soon as possible about what happens. So yeah, I don't know. Just stick around. Watch the credits. But yeah, just a remarkable movie. Just like I said, a terrific Spider-Man movie, an amazing Marvel MCU movie. So the next big movie, for me in theaters, is going to be The Batman in March, and then Sonic 2 in April. For me, it's Matrix later this week, and then I am going to see Multiverse of Madness. Does 60s Spider-Man appear anywhere? I can't really say. I kind of already said, but I can't really say. I won't really say. I'll watch Matrix. See, I don't have HBO Max, so I'm not too concerned with that. I feel like, Ryan, though, the way we said about how this movie is a great theater movie, right? It's big and grandiose. I think that The Matrix is going to be that way, too. I feel like The Matrix is going to have, just from a cinematography aspect, I feel like The Matrix is going to have a lot of big, grandiose shots that is going to help be in the theater for. If there is a 3D version of that movie, I might actually watch it in 3D. I do like 3D movies. I know that people like have a love-hate thing with them. I like the 3D movies. Avatar in 3D was fantastic. I thought that was a gorgeous movie. I saw it both, with and without 3D. I thought that movie was unbelievable. I was sad that they redid episode 1 in 3D, like they touched up some scenes in 3D, and I thought it looked good. It wasn't necessary, but it looked great, but it had a poor reception, so they didn't do the other ones. Like, I kind of wanted to, I mean, at the very least, I wanted to just go and watch the prequels again in the movie theater, but I liked it. I thought that it was good. Morbius is a Marvel character I know nothing about. The only thing I thought I knew about Morbius was I thought Morbius was Flash Thompson, and I guess it wasn't. But I don't know. Flash Thompson became somebody. Like, didn't he become a character? I could have sworn he became Morbius, and I think that I was just wrong for that. Either that or that was one of those, like, it happened in the cartoon but not in the comics sort of thing. There's a one shot in the movie that I want as a wallpaper with the three of them. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. He became Agent Venom. Okay. Okay, so he became Agent Venom. I don't know why. I could have sworn that he became Morbius for some reason. And I don't know, maybe in a 90s cartoon he did or something. I don't know. I maybe I'm just misremembering it. Flash becomes Venom in some stuff. Okay, so that's what it was. Yeah, I knew he became somebody significant. But yeah, Ryan, my next movie is Matrix and then Multiverse of Madness, because I am now firmly like, okay, if it is, and that's what I'm looking for. When remember during the first phases of the MCU, we were all looking for Infinity Stone references. Now I'm looking for multiverse references, and you tell me that the movie is Multiverse of Madness, I'm in it. Can we agree now? Willem Dafoe is the best MCU villain. Let me tell you something. And I don't know that I consider this a spoiler. Willem Dafoe in No Way Home was the lightest way I can say this is that he was a scene stealer. When he was on screen, you watched him, you paid attention to him. He was unbelievable. His portrayal of that character, I don't think will ever be topped. I don't think there are many characters, there are many actors that have played characters that people can honestly say you'll never see a better version of that character. People used to say that about Jack Nicholson's Joker. I always thought that he was incredible, but I never thought it was unbelievable. I never thought that it was like, we'll never see another thing like that. I've heard people say that about Heath Ledger's Joker. I still think he was unbelievable. I don't know that I think that it can't be topped. Mark Hamill's Joker. I don't know that we'll get a Joker that was better than that. I don't know that we can get a Joker that was better than that. Obviously, we're in the honeymoon phase right now. We're early on, so I really can't speak for this for the rest of my life, but I feel like I can say with confidence, if they ever try and do Green Goblin again, if the Green Goblin is any good, it's going to be because they're channeling Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. This portrayal was incredible. I could not believe how much attention he garners when he's on the screen. Incredible. Just incredible. Such a terrifying range from a lost soul. Dude, when they did that lost soul scene, I won't go into specifics. When they did the lost soul scene, it was, God, I could feel the desperation, and I could feel the lie, is what I will say. God, it was so good. Alfred Molina was fantastic, but I don't know if he had enough time to shine. And I'm glad he didn't. Because they focused on the right person. Let me put it that way. As far as villains go, they focus on the right person. Willem splits time in this movie from being Willem Dafoe and Willem Dafoe. Absolutely. But which one is he really? Did you hear the billion posts that said how the only way they got Willem I've seen that. I've seen that he wanted to do his own stunts, and that was a great call. That was a great call because there were a few moments where if that was not him doing that, I would not have bought it anywhere near as much as I did seeing him do that. There were a few scenes where I bought it 100%. I was absolutely invested in what he was doing. Alfred Molina was a supporting cast. I think that all the villains were really good. There was one villain that I didn't like. I actually didn't realize that this person was going to be in the movie. Flip, I like that. There was one character that I didn't know. I didn't know Sandman was going to be in the movie. I actually didn't know that. I don't remember seeing Sandman in any of the trailers. Maybe I did and I just don't remember. But I didn't notice him being in the movie. My problem with Sandman was that in the third Spider-Man movie, he ended that movie he was in the last trailer. Okay, so Ryan, by that point, I was skipping trailers. I was not watching trailers. He ended up helping Spider-Man by the end of the third movie. So the fact that they had to morph him into a villain kind of bothered me a bit. It did kind of bother me a bit. I don't know. It felt like it didn't make any sense. And it's a shame because I really like Thomas Hayden Church. Thomas Hayden Church is an actor that I don't see much of, but when I see him, I really kind of like him. I actually really do kind of like him. He appeared in the trailer. He was big in the last trailer, but he was also in the first trailer. You see the bolt of lightning and the sand wall. And I think that's the problem. I don't remember seeing Sandman. I remember seeing that sand wall thing, and I think that I might have just thought it was something else. Yeah, he was better in the third movie. Peter Parker on his first day of college when Kirk Connors is his professor. Gwen Stacy is his lab partner. Harry Osborn is his roommate. And he has to write a paper on Otto Octavius profusely. To be fair, Doc Ock was redeemed in Spider-Man before he originally died as well. Yeah, but Dragoon, here's the thing. They make it a point to say when in the timeline he shows up. Like, they go over that. They go over where specifically he popped out of the timeline and into this universe. Like, so you kind of get an answer for that. And I think that's the problem. We didn't really get a solid answer for that with Sandman. So I don't know if this was like before or after, what had happened. So it's sort of weird. Lizard was the only villain I was disappointed with. I don't think I was too disappointed with him. One character that greatly benefited was Jamie Foxx. Absolutely. Jamie Foxx had a great character arc in that. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird. Lizard Lizard is... Lizard is a character that oh, you got okay. I think my problem with the Lizard is Lizard's a character who had some things happen to him, and he decided that he was going to try and help himself and use that to benefit everybody else. He took what he had that had messed him up, and he was going to try and use that to help everybody, but it ended up getting out of control, and he ended up being seen as a villain for it. I feel like a lot of his character beats were already addressed with Dr. Octopus. I feel like Doc Ock came from a place where he wanted to help people. It got out of control, and he started to lose sight of that on the premise that he was still trying to help people. And I feel like that story beat was done better with Dr. Octopus. So Kurt Connors almost feels redundant as a villain. Not just in this. I just mean in general. I almost feel like he feels redundant. I feel like his scenario setup has been done multiple times better. So it doesn't feel like a character I really need to be interested in. There's a couple characters like that. There's characters all the time. Heroes and villains. I think that there's a lot of characters that no matter what they do, I'm just never going to be really interested in them. I'm just never going to be really involved in them. I also feel a lot of the Lizard's part is that he doesn't believe he's in the wrong still. And Dragoon, yes. Kurt Connors, for everything that he's trying to do, he still feels like, no, I'm still trying to help people. So does Dr. Octopus. Right? When Dr. Octopus in the second Spider-Man movie is building this machine that has the potential, that he's already seen the destruction it's capable of. And he wants to build the machine bigger and stronger. All in his mind, I'm going to help people. All in his mind, he wanted to help people. But he lost sight of the reality of it in his desire to help people. That has already been achieved with Dr. Octopus, and in a better way. So Kurt Connors feels redundant. I can't believe they brought in King Koopa from the Mario Brothers movie, or Killer Croc from the Batman franchise. I also feel a lot of Lizard. They made a joke about Connors in the scene. Lizard in the comments, I turned into an uncontrollable monster, and now I'm working to combat against the beast. Lizard in the movie, I'm going to turn people into lizards too because I am a lizard. Because he really thought that people would be better that way. He really thought it, and it's like they really kind of wouldn't. Especially with a certain scene with Doc Ock and Toby. They tried in the comics to go with the idea that he liked being the lizard and that it wasn't a split personality thing, but that didn't stick. I have an affinity towards Lizard, partly because the actor that plays him, Xenophilius Lovegood. Oh, okay. Movie Doc is also corrupted by the tentacles. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. Doc Ock in the comics was more of a nerd that wanted revenge. Lizard was a scientist trying to retain his sanity. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's because I didn't read the comics really. So in the comics, they had different versions of the characters. Doc Ock and Toby reunited. It really did. It felt so good. It was interesting that and they addressed it. It was interesting that Otto and Norman got to share screen time because they didn't before. Right? They were from the same universe, but they were from different movies. By the time Otto Octavius became what he became, Norman Osborn was already dead. So it was interesting that we got to see them together. It was a great dynamic. Some of the best recent Ock stuff was when Otto was in Peter's body and we had that whole thing going on. I'm trying to do better. What an amazing movie. I want to see it again. I legit want to see it again. That was the first time I've been to the movie since Endgame too, by the way. Theater experience, going away from the movie, the actual theater experience was the first time I've been in a movie theater since Endgame. And what a great experience. Except one experience. I had one bad experience. If you follow me on Twitter and you read my Twitter posts, I had a bad experience at the movie theater. Anybody know what it was? I'm going to see it again next Sunday with another group. I did that with Matrix. When the first Matrix came out, I saw the first Matrix 4 or 5 times in the theaters. I kept finding different groups of people to go to the Matrix with. You see the Matrix? Oh, it's awesome. You haven't seen it? We're going to go to the movies. They were sold out of pretzel bites. Pretzel bites are my go-to movie food. That is, if I go to the movie theater and I get one thing, it is pretzel bites. Yeah, no pretzel bites. Disappointed. They didn't even have regular pretzels. Apparently they also sell regular soft pretzels. They didn't even have those. I was mad. One of my gripes was the specific part that pulled them in was everyone knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man, I should remember. However, in the movie, even show this, Electro never. Yeah, I don't understand that. Lilac, I did hear a speculation that it was energy, and because of his proximity to Spider-Man, the energy surge, like he supposedly that this is the theory that I heard, that his body is sensitive to energy, and because of his proximity to Spider-Man on a metaphysical level, right? Like he had encountered Spider-Man, because of that is what drew him in. It's kind of a reach. It's a big reach, but I buy it enough to say, okay, I can pass that. I can go past that. Ronan, we're wrapping up right now. We were talking about it, just how good it was. We're not doing any spoilers or anything. We're not doing any spoilers. Electro knew who Peter Parker, did Electro know? I thought they said that he didn't know. So many moments in this movie made me go, wow, they really paid attention to all the things the previous movie knew about Spider-Man, made Spider-Man who he is. I just get icy apocalypse. That's a good question. I have a good question about that. When you go to the movie theater, what's your one thing? What's your one thing? You go to the movie theater, you've got enough money in your wallet. I don't know how, but you've got enough money in your wallet for one thing. What is your one movie thing? Is it popcorn? Is it a soda? Is it candy? And for me, it's pretzel bites. Some people are like a hot dog. Also, why didn't the two Harrys come over? Yes, that's a good oversight right there. That's a good oversight. A fun fact about Electro, he has Spider-Man's weakness. He's just too stupid to capitalize on it. I mean, you know who does know Peter Parker Spidey does the same? Batman. Ryan, you had asked me before, am I going to see Batman? Here's the thing. I haven't seen enough of the trailers and stuff. I'm actively trying to avoid some stuff with that. I just haven't seen enough to get me really excited. When we get closer to it, I'll make the decision. Bear in mind, I wasn't really going to see No Way Home until people started gushing about it. And then I literally was like, okay, I'm going to go online and buy a ticket for it. So that's probably going to happen with Batman. As I get closer to Batman and I see, because I don't know who the Batman villain is. I don't know what the time period is for this Batman. So as I get closer to it and I look a little bit more into it, I might end up saying, yeah, I'm just going to go and watch it. But as of right now, I'm not like, okay, I have to go and see this Batman movie. I'll be honest, I wasn't that way with Batman Begins. I didn't see Batman Begins for a while. And I don't remember if I saw it in the theaters or not. I'll be completely honest with you. I do not remember if I saw Batman Begins in the theater. Now, I had already seen it when Dark Knight was coming out, that was a weekend one. That was the first weekend movie for me. Absolutely. Rise, I'd take Rise or leave it. Did you see I did not. I have Atomic. I haven't seen either one of those Venom movies. Is that crazy? That I haven't seen either one of the Tom Hardy movies, which is wild because I like Tom. Like, I would have seen those movies enough just for Tom Hardy. I like Tom Hardy. But I haven't seen either one of those movies. I saw the end credit scene from the second movie because it was relevant to what was going on. It's Riddler. Is it Riddler? Oh, no. Is it? I hope it's Scarecrow. Yeah, I don't know who the villain is. Did they even say? Year 2 Batman, and the villain is Riddler. Okay, so it's Year 2 Batman, which I know very little about. I know very little about Year 2 Batman. And Riddler is going to be the villain. I'd be interested to see that. I'd be interested to see another portrayal of the Riddler. My previous movie theater experience was Star Wars Episode 9, and man, watching Spider-Man cleanse my soul. Venom has great action. I didn't like the dialogue for the first movie. The Venom movie is just lighthearted fun. Main villain is Riddler with appearances by Catwoman and Penguin. Venom and Eddie relationship is amazing, but the story is bad. Oh. I did see some scenes. I've seen scenes where, like, we're going to eat Mrs. Chen. I've seen stuff like that, but I never watched the whole movie. Popcorn and nachos are the go-to. I think hot dogs and even sandwiches are overkill and can get quite smelly. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of those. Yeah, but if I have to choose one snack at the movie theater, it's pretzel bites. Venom movies are really solid. I always recommend to go and watch them with open mind instead of comparing it with the MCU. My biggest issue is that I don't have access to them. I can't just turn those and the Spider-Man movies. I can't watch Far From Home. Right? Isn't that on a different... That's on a different service now, right? I can't watch Far From Home, and I can't watch the 2 Venom movies. They're on another streaming service that I don't have access to, and I refuse to pay. No, they're not on Disney Plus, are they? Are they on Disney Plus, and I'm just totally not paying attention to them? You turn your brain off when you watch the Venom movies. Ronan, do you turn your brain off? Or do you just turn off that, like somebody said, the MCU comparison? Do you just turn that off? Or is it like, okay, this is just popcorn fun? I know the Spider-Man movies aren't. What about the Venom movies? Where are the Venom movies? Because I would imagine that the Venom movies are in the same place that the Spider-Man movies are. And the Spider-Man movies I know are not on Disney Plus. No, the whole brain. Oh, okay. Yeah, no Spider-Man movies are on there. The Batman is going with a more interesting take from one of the comic runs. Riddler sees himself somewhat as an anti-hero, using his mind to go after the corrupt cops and leaders of Gotham, having taken inspiration from Batman's vigilanteism, and he's fairly Zodiac killer, using his clues to make all the corrupt officials scared and worried. Interesting. That's interesting. I feel like I'd want to see that just for the Riddler. I feel like that's an interesting version of the Riddler. Is Venom Amazon Prime? Venom Sony only, so Venom Sony only, so whatever they use, I suppose. Which I don't know. I don't know what Sony puts their movies on. The Venom movies are fun but really stupid. Okay. All right. So I mean, I have no problem with that. It's good to know that I'm going into it with that. But yeah, Spider-Man was unbelievable. I want to move on. I want to talk about a couple other things that I saw, which were trailers. Amazon Prime is your best bet. So they showed some trailers. I saw the Morbius trailer. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you with the Morbius trailer. Morbius is not a character that I ever followed. I really don't know anything about him. Feels like a vampire, right? It kind of feels like a... No, our theater didn't show the Batman movie. Our theater didn't show it. Hero, thank you for saying that. I don't really care about Jared Leto. Leto? I don't know. I see that it's Jared Leto, and I'm like, I saw that it was Morbius. Like, there's nothing there. There's nothing there that made me Ooh, that looks interesting. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. Did I get this? We got the Sonic 2 trailer. I got the Sonic 2 trailer, but it's the trailer that we already saw. So I wasn't really pumped about it. I saw it already. I had Sing 2. Matrix. I did not get Encanto. I'm trying to remember. What are some of the other big trailers that were out? Because I don't remember some of the other ones. There was one that I was very surprised about. And I said this on Twitter. I had not seen the Lightyear trailer. I thought, what? Oh, football. Oh, I saw this movie. They had this trailer for the Dog. Was the movie? I saw the trailer for Ambulance. Yes, I did see the trailer for Ambulance. Looks kind of cool. I saw the trailer for Dog with Channing Tatum and a dog. So okay. I saw Blade Blur. I'm happy you got a refrigerator. I'm happy you got the fridge. I did not. So I knew that the Lightyear trailer was out. I knew that they were making a movie about it. I did not know anything about it. Here's what I thought with Lightyear before I saw the trailer. Blade Blur dropping the gift sub as a token of my appreciation. Dropping the gift sub to Ryan. Thank you so much, Blade Blur. I appreciate that. Blade, I spent the entire weekend fighting, resisting myself from going back to the store and getting one of those refrigerators. And in all honesty, I'm still considering cracking into my savings and going and getting one of those refrigerators. I really want one of those fridges. Here's what I thought. I got Uncharted. I did not get Dumbledore. When they said that they were making a Buzz Lightyear movie, and this is the problem. This was the problem. Everybody said they're making a Buzz Lightyear movie. And I thought, a CG Toy Story style movie featuring Buzz Lightyear. This is what I thought it was. So I could not be more wrong about what this was. I'm watching this trailer and I'm seeing this stuff happen, right? I'm seeing the launch, right? That's the space station or the base, and then I see the launch and they're gonna go, he's gonna fly around the sun. I guess that was the mission. So see, now I've seen the Buzz Lightyear cartoon, but the Buzz Lightyear cartoon is Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story, right? It's the white with the purple and green, and he's fighting Zurg, and you know what I mean? Like it's that's what I thought the movie was going to be. I thought when people were saying there's a Buzz Lightyear movie coming, I thought that's what it was going to be. It was going to be that Buzz Lightyear where it's to infinity and beyond. I thought that's what it was going to be. So I'm watching this trailer, and I'm like, wow, okay, CG movie. This looks cool. Right? Voiced by Joe Swanson. I'm like, this is cool. What is this? Space movie, right? He's got the music going. There's not really a plot to it, but from the trailer, I couldn't really tell what the plot was. But I'm like, what is this? And then the door opens and you see the suit. And I'm like, oh, this is Lightyear. So then they did the last day and they're like, to infinity. And it cuts to, and it says Lightyear at the end. I was immediately like, oh, this looks good. This looks really decent. And then I had a thought about something. And this is where my mindset is with the Lightyear movie. You know how we get a property, we get an IP that comes out, and it's semi-serious, right? You got some relatively serious stuff going on, nothing really intense, right? They're not like dealing with traumas or anything. It's just it's a semi-serious movie. They're taking the movie seriously. Let's say that. Then you get a cartoon for it or something. Or you get some other property. And then what the next property does is or media, what the next media does is it scales down the seriousness of it. So it kidifies it up a little bit. You know, let's say Star Wars. Let's take Star Wars first. I think Star Wars is actually a good analogy for this. When you watch the first Star Wars movies, a lot of people think, oh, this is a great movie for kids. But when you watch the first Star Wars movie, it opens up with a scene with a whole bunch of people getting shot and killed. So this is not, it's a fun science fiction movie, but realistically, they're going through some real stuff, right? They blow up a planet full of millions of people. There's characters that are dying. There's characters that are technically getting tortured. Like, there's some real subject matter going on here, but it's portrayed in this sci-fi setting, which somehow makes it acceptable for children. As you go on, you get this youthifying version of it, right? So by the third Star Wars movie, you've got these little teddy bear characters who are designed to be appealing to children. Then you end up getting cartoons and stuff. So you see what happens? You see how you get this semi-serious property that gets dulled down until you get to a point where they're making a children's cartoon out of it and they're making children's toys out of it. What if you went the other way? What if you take a character, Buzz Lightyear, you put him in a movie called Toy Story that is designed for children to watch it. It's about their toys that come to life. And then you make a cartoon out of it years later, again, designed to sell toys. You know, make it a little bit more, a little bit more, not serious, but a little bit more in depth. And then you start getting more stories that go up until you end at something like Lightyear, where in an alternate universe, Lightyear is the first movie you get. Think about this. Think about the idea that in an alternate universe, Lightyear is the first movie you get. It's the first time we see this character. It's the first time we see this environment. They sell us on To Infinity and Beyond. It becomes popular. You get another 1 or 2 movies of this. And then what happens in the second and third movies? They scale it down because kids kind of like the first one. So they start adding these things. They make his outfit a bit more colorful. They make it so that he takes place more in space. He meets aliens and he gets into a crazy alien fight. And then 10, 20 years later, you're watching a kid's cartoon with very childish animation and childish jokes, and they're selling you big, cheap plastic toys, and they have gone the other way. It's almost like that's what happened in the Toy Story universe. Right? Imagine in the Toy Story universe, there was a movie called Lightyear, and this is that movie. And then slowly but surely, it got kidded down until Andy fell in love with the cartoon, and he bought his Buzz Lightyear toy, and it's his new favorite toy. He gets to play with cowboys and an astronaut. That's what happened in the Toy Story universe. And we're getting it backwards. In the Toy Story universe, they got Lightyear, and it filtered down to Andy getting his toy in Toy Story 1. And in our universe, we got Toy Story 1, and it filtered up until now we're getting Lightyear. We're getting the movie that for them started it all. Because this movie looked legit. Like, this movie looked like something that kids are going to like and grown-ups are going to think this is cool. Hold on, let me go back up. What's next? The Woody movie. I mean, isn't that Red Dead Redemption? A Woody movie, but it's Pixar's take on the Western would be cool. Got to be acceptable for all ages. I mean, that's effectively what Batman did. Yeah, Batman was kind of super serious at first, and then they had to kid it down, and a lot of that was because of the comic code and stuff. And then they went back up. Batman got super campy, yeah, and then it went, and then when the '80s happened, and we got Legends of the Dark Knight, and all of that. When we got Frank Miller stuff, then it was like, wow, this character's actually kind of deep and dark. This is way more interesting than pow and bam. Lightyear is the Star Wars of Andy's world. Buzz Lightyear in Star Command is the in-universe version of, say, something like Clone Wars. So you think Toy Story Buzz is the kidified version of the character from Lightyear? Yes. It is not the serious astronaut on a serious space mission, dealing with serious problems. It is the white and purple and green spaceman who shoots lasers from his wrist, fighting the Zurg Empire. It is the kidified version of the character from Lightyear, but in Andy's universe, it went down. In our universe, it went up. That's what's going on. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh, this is what a cool, overly thought through theory that I developed in like 60 seconds." Hold on. So Disney being Disney. I'll go with the deep analysis. I think that's the mindset of making Buzz Lightyear the Buzz Lightyear the character. If I could find the source of that, I would pull it up. Plot twist at the end of pulling a Lego movie with Andy leaving the theater and leading to Toy Story 1. That would be phenomenal. Can I just say the new Lightyear movie has incredible visuals? That's what threw me off when I was watching the visuals. I was like, oh, this looks unbelievable. It's something I feel the Toy Story movies have been doing for a while, growing and aging these movies as they went on. So while kids still love them, adults can see how things changed as we got older. And in the animated series, married the kid-friendly and dark themes. Yeah, that was the bridge. We went from kiddie character to bridge show to more serious movie, and in their universe, they went the other way around. Andy was a fan of Squaresoft since he plays their games on the Super Nintendo. Zurg wasn't it Zurg? Right? Wasn't Zurg the bad guy from Toy Story? From Toy Story. From Buzz Lightyear Star Command? Wasn't that Zurg? Was it with a U? Z-U-R-G? That was right? What would Emperor Zurg's name be before he went to the dark side? See, I feel like the cheap answer is Zurg is just an evil space ruler, right? He's trying to take over space. It was Zurg. Yeah, it was Emperor Zurg. Previously, Buzz Lightyear's toy name was known to have been inspired by real-life Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin, who was the second person to step on the moon. Meanwhile, the actual character of Buzz Lightyear is the person to have inspired the action figure line in the context of the first 4 original films. Fuzz Lightyear. I remember I saw a picture like that said Fuzz Lightyear, and it was like a cat. It was like a little fuzzy kitten with like backlighting. What's this? Oh, okay. So this is the. All right, I'm gonna keep that open. Yeah, but I saw that trailer and thought, this looks cool. This looks cool, and yeah, it feels like a backwards sort of thing where now we're gonna go, because now, yeah, they did it great, because as you were kids, you saw Toy Story. When you were younger, you saw Toy Story. God, how old was I when Toy Story came out? 17? I think I was 16 or 17 when Toy Story came out, and I was so excited to go see it. I think we cut school to go see that movie. I cut school to go see that movie. Well, I sort of cut school to go see that movie. We had so for anybody that's high school, hey Amanda, it was senior day, so it was like senior trip day. But then the kids who didn't go on senior trip, they were still supposed to go to school. and they were gonna just do nothing. Like they had some stuff that they had planned for the seniors that didn't go on the senior trip. A lot of us didn't want to go on a senior trip. There was my group of friends, we didn't want to go, so we just chose to cut school that day, and we went and saw Toy Story. Toy Story came out when I was 4. Yeah, I was like 16 or 17, and we went to go and watch Toy Story that day. So here you have Toy Story when I'm younger, right? And I'm a 43-year-old kid anyway, so I grew up with it. And then now here we are getting Lightyear, the movie that as an adult I should be wanting. I should want Lightyear as a movie, and it was great. Yeah, 95. I was 17. I'm 30, and I was blown away as a 4-year-old. Amanda, if you have not watched it yet, I'm talking about the trailer for Lightyear. Watch that trailer. It's so good. I am genuinely interested in watching this movie. I want to see more of it. I want to see more of what the movie's about. But when the next trailer comes out, I'm going to watch it. The movie inside the Toy Story universe. Yeah, so I'm not the only one that had this idea. So I'm definitely not the only one that had this idea. All right, good. I'm happy that I'm not the only one that thinks that. Toy Story 3 really struck a chord with me because I was going through the same thing Andy was going through. I think, and Marcos, you're not the only one. I think that a lot of people, I think that was what hit Toy Story 3 so hard, or that's what made Toy Story 3 hit so hard, was that it came at a time when the people who grew up with Toy Story were going through that. It totally makes sense in that way, like Buzz merch coming out post-movie. Well, Manda, what I was saying was that it's like the other way around. Like normally we get a movie like Lightyear, and then we get a kidified version of it, right? We get something that's a little more kid-friendly, and maybe we get something else that's more kid-friendly until in the end we get something like Buzz Lightyear and Star Command, which is blatantly for kids, and it's totally to sell toys. What we got is the other way around. Our introduction to Buzz Lightyear was through Toy Story and this kid franchise, and then eventually we got to know more of the character. We got a cartoon for it, Buzz Lightyear and Star Command, and now we're getting the first movie that would have kicked it off, but we did the whole thing backwards. We aged up, and in Toy Story universe, it aged down. That was my thinking, but apparently I'm not the only one that thought that, so that's a good thing. 2022, we're feasting. Batman, Lightyear, Sonic 2. Even I'm excited for Sonic 2. Black Adam, which I'm not really excited for Black Adam, but again, I haven't seen too much for it. Doctor Strange, Flashpoint for Michael Keaton, if nothing else. I mean, that's going to be a great thing. Toy Story 3. And you know what I haven't watched? I haven't watched Toy Story 4. Maybe I'm being old man Greg here. But I have not watched, I have not watched Toy Story 4 for the simple fact that I don't think I needed that movie. I feel like Toy Story 3 was perfect. And like it had it was the perfect ending to the franchise. I didn't need more. I never needed more. Yeah, Toy Story 4 doesn't need to exist. You don't need to see it. Oh, Toy Story 4 is good. Somebody's saying it's good. I wish I could say it, but I got my big old presentation. No problem, Manda. Good luck, Manda. If you're back before we wrap up, please stop back in and let us know how everything went. So yeah, I want to see it eventually. But 3 is such a solid. It's such a solid ending. My only issue. I'm about to do the last of my streams this year. Time to wrap up Final Fantasy V. Great stream. No problem, Trios. Have a good one. Enjoy the end of the game. The only thing I know about Toy Story 4, which bothers me in real life, was the little spork character, the little spork with the pipe cleaner hands, and I guess he had like googly eye faces, or was it like his face was like drawn on or something? I don't even know what the character Forky. I don't know what the character's name is. Forky. My understanding is that that character was created by a kid who didn't have a lot of money, so they made a toy. Is that more or less what happened with that character? Which is something I would do. That's something I would have done as a kid. No? No. Okay, so what is the origin of this character? What is the origin of Forky? That's what I thought it was. Oh, she was lonely at the preschool and her imagination made it. No, wait. Woody made him? It's a preschool handmade toy. Okay, so not Woody made him. So this character made Forky. This character made Forky. Bonnie, the little girl, made him. So this character made so sort of, yeah. It's sort of the sense that a kid made this character. It makes me laugh that I feel like the lesson there is that, you know, the effort that the child put into it is what brought the toy to life, in a way. You know, it was the child's creativity that created this character. So it makes me laugh that you sell it as a toy at the store. I know this is me being a bit more meta than it needs to be, but it makes me laugh that it's like, but wasn't the point of the character that the child used their imagination to make it themselves, and now you sell it at the store? Like, like I don't know, it's such a dumb thing, and I know that, right, that they're selling it because it's a toy and it's all a movie, but it just made me laugh. The whole concept made me laugh. I mean, we still have to answer the question if adult toys count. I always said, Ryan, that adult toys didn't count because they are not played with. I always said that they are not played with in that way. You know what I mean? They're not really given personalities. They don't have little faces or anything, so they're not really played with in that way. So I never really thought they counted. Yeah, selling Forky toys in real life just feels all sorts of awkward. Disney found a way to sell a spork, googly eyes, and pipe cleaner for $30. I mean, the first movie had a walking fishing hook. Let's sell sporks with googly eyes and charge a fortune. So it can count. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's probably no pun intended here, but that's probably a deeper conversation than we should get into right now. But yeah, Spider-Man was incredible. Lightyear was a surprisingly good trailer. I was very surprised at how much I was like, wow, this actually looks like something I want to see. I can't believe it. All in all, minus the pretzel bites, the lack of pretzel bites. All in all, a very fantastic movie theater experience.